Hello beautiful people, welcome to Farmer's Line. Farmer's Line, let's farm together. To all my returning subscribers, I say a warm welcome to you. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up and share my video to all your farmer friends. I would appreciate that very much. So it's day 7 and I'm giving my birds gumboro vaccine. A quick review of what I have done throughout the week. Some glucose on first day. I gave them antibiotic vitamin on day 2 and day 3. I gave them coccidiosis treatment on day 4 and day 5, plain water on day 6, and today it's time for vaccination. I'm giving them gumboro, so let's talk about gumboro. Gumboro is an infectious basal disease, also known as IBD, and it attacks the internal organs of the animals. It is highly contagious. You don't want to joke with gumboro. It is characterized by immunosuppression and mortality. It actually attacks young birds from 3 weeks to 6 weeks. That is their prevalent stage. Okay, so this is how it looks. It blocks the passage and it's a growth inside where their fecal matter could pass and stops them from defecating. It blocks everything that has to come out. Guys, it's a virus and it has no cure. My candid advice to you is that when you experience gumboro, do not take to buying drugs. You can only manage it because it doesn't have cure. If you don't take care, you use all your money to buy drugs which will not work. Guys, gumboro is deadly. It can sweep off all your flock in 3 days. Yes. If you have 10,000 birds, if you don't take care and gumboro hits you, it's going to clean your pen and leave you empty. Guys, this experience is personal. You don't want to joke with it. I have experienced it before. In a matter of 3 days, guys, I lost 650 birds out of 1,000. And when that happens, it weakens their immune system and they become susceptible to every single thing that comes around. Usually when you are into large-scale poultry farming, keep off from local birds because they harbor the virus and it is transmitted through passing of their feces and it is airborne. When you have gumboro in one spot, it can be in the air traveling over 200 miles. So I can have gumboro around here and the air can carry it all around my vicinity. Every poultry farm around here is susceptible to receiving that gumboro virus from my farm. So it is that serious, guys. You don't want to joke with gumboro. You don't want to joke with gumboro. Gumboro is deadly. Gumboro is deadly. So the best way to deal with it is to give them vaccine. There is no other way. There is no other way. If you don't handle gumboro well and it hits you, my brother or sister, my fellow farmer, you are not going to like the results. It is by far the most deadly virus any poultry farmer can experience. It is that serious. When you have your birds dying and you don't know what to do, no medicine is working, then you understand the pain. Like I said, the pain is personal. Until you experience it, you cannot understand it. So that is about gumboro for you. Gumboro is deadly. Gumboro is very, very deadly. Prevention is always better than cure. So let's go ahead and do the vaccine. I took this vaccine from the veterinary office on Tuesdays usually. They would mix the vaccine and distribute it to all poultry farmers who come around to get vaccine for their birds. This is how you administer gumboro vaccine. First, you don't open the vaccine outside the water. You submerge it into the water and patiently wait. Can you see it coming out? Yes. Patiently wait for it to dissolve in the water before you bring it out. You don't want air to pass through it because this is a live gumboro virus that is coming to build immunity in the birds. This itself can cause an outbreak. So you don't want to do it wrong, because if you do it wrong, you are going to suffer the consequences. Yes, you are going to suffer the consequences of negligence. Guys, poultry farming is very delicate. Caring for these little ones is very, very delicate. Very delicate, and you have to deal with them accordingly, okay, to get maximum results. So we left the bottle inside the water for a while, trying to bring it out every now and then, but until it's all out, guys, you can't stop. Okay, so we spent a little bit of time on it until we were able to dissolve everything inside the water. Be careful with it. Don't get bored and pull it out, because you don't want water, you don't want air to like I told you, it's an airborne disease. The air can carry it around, and you don't want that to happen. Once the air blows it, it can carry it and send it all round, infecting every other bird around your vicinity. So we mix it thoroughly, because I divided my birds into two. On the 5th day upwards, because they were getting too clouded in where I brooded them. They grow by the day, so they were getting too big for the cage, and they were pecking and killing themselves out of overcrowding. So I needed to separate them. Therefore, I divided the water into two. Guys, when it comes to administering vaccine, you want to starve the birds of, water for at least 1 hour, making sure they get very thirsty, because we don't want the vaccine to stay around in the pen for too long. Okay, so they have to be thirsty to be ready to receive the vaccine, so that as soon as you put it inside, each one of them should rush as quickly as possible to get a sip. That's the trick. That's the trick. All right, so that was how we administered our vaccine. And one important tip when it comes to administering vaccine is that because my number is not up to 1,000, the vaccines come in 1,000 doses. So if I have 1,000 beds, I can go and buy the entire thing and come and activate it in the house. But my beds are just 200, so I can't buy the entire 1,000 dose. So each one of us go to the veterinary office and we get a little bit, which we send to our various farms. So between the time that your vaccine is dished out to you to the time they finish consuming it, you have just 2 hours, guys. 2 hours only. So don't go and get your vaccine and be roaming about in town, shopping, doing everything you want to do before you go to your farm to administer the vaccine. No. The moment you get it, head straight to your farm, mix it with clean water and administer it as soon as possible. Guys, another tip is that do not mix it with water that will take the whole day. No. Give them just enough water that they can consume within the shortest possible time. Because when it comes to vaccine, it demands lots of speed. It's a speed game, because you don't want the virus being activated and carried around. It's a live virus we are dealing with. It has come to test the immunity of your birds. Some birds will take a sick and they will die. Others will take it and they will survive. But the trick is that never ever vaccinate a sick bird. Before you give your birds vaccine, make sure they are completely well. Make sure they are completely well. If you find any sign of your birds not well, please deal with that first and foremost before you go for your vaccine, guys. Before you go for your vaccine. Because when the bird is already sick and you introduce a virus to it, guys, what would you do if it were you? I believe you will not take it lightly. So do the birds react. So if you have sick birds, first deal with them, cure them, make sure they are running around happy and well before you administer any vaccine to them. Guys, I think the little I can tell you about gumboro. The thing is, you need to stick to your vaccine, because there is too much viruses and diseases around your farm, and these birds are so gullible, they are so weak, they are so feeble. You want to give them the best care as possible. You want to give them the best care as possible and make sure they grow well so that you can get your money because the results of investment is return. If you lose your birds whilst you can't use them for anything, I don't think it is right. That is why I've taken it upon myself to talk about these poultry diseases and how to go about them, particularly your vaccines. One more thing, guys, the vaccine bottle you brought can wreak havoc, so dispose them well. If you have to use it again, then submerge it in warm water and make sure it's sterilized. You don't want to keep those like viruses lying around, hoping that you go use the same bottle for another vaccine. I don't know how vaccines will react when they have other viruses mixed with them. And another tip, guys, on the 7th day, you want to lift up the polythene bag you used to cover the place. Gumboro, basically, when your birds are exposed to a lot of heat, it causes gumboro as well. So guys, on the 7th day when you are administering your vaccine, turn off your brooding light and remove the covering so that you can allow air through the brooding pen, so that there is no saturation of viruses or diseases in between them. The air should be able to blow around whilst they take their vaccine. You can cover them up after a while when you have removed the vaccine, and please dispose of every leftover vaccine when you know that all your birds have taken in the water. Just make sure that each and every one of your birds gets a sip. Let them take the water, let them sip it, let them drink it. Make sure you see each one of them drinking it. When they rush for it, those who be left at the corners and unconcerned and not rushing for the water, please hand carry them and dip their beaks into the water. Make sure each one of your birds get a sip, because when all are vaccinated and one or two of them skips the vaccine, guys, they can still bring the viruses around, and though they have been vaccinated, you still don't want to take chances or take risks. So please make sure you do that. In the 7th day on their gumboro vaccination, if you like my video, guys, please help me build this channel and let me move from height to height with your help, with your thumbs up, with your sharing, and with your comment. Please leave me a comment down below. I'll answer all your comments. If you have any questions concerning gumboro, you can ask me. I'll be glad to help you out with any question that you may want to have answers to. And guys, share my video to your friends. Let us all learn to farm together. I love farming. I enjoy doing it. I believe you can also. I love to do farming. I'm not practicing accounting now. I'm practicing farming. It's a noble job. So all you beautiful young graduates out there, let us do this to help our income. If you are working in a governmental organization somewhere, you can still enjoy taking care of birds. It is the noblest job you can ever have, guys. You can ever have. Farming is the way to go for Africa and for our future generation. Let us learn to love farming. Let us get involved. Let's feed ourselves because we are who we eat. Love you all, guys.